All right, guys, hey, we're back in the Gorilla's kitchen. We're gonna do some exciting meals tonight. I have gyros for you. I have some homemade gyro meat. You guys are gonna absolutely love this. And of course, homemade tzatziki sauce, one of my favorite things in the world. I'm gonna show you guys how we're gonna do this. And our drink of the night is going to be the mojito. So stay tuned, it's gonna rock. How's it going?
Good. Good.
Welcome to the Gorilla's kitchen. And as always, we have to ask the question, what's the gorilla cooking?
What's the gorilla cooking?
Gyros, baby! We're doing it. We're doing some big time gyros with big time flavors. I'm gonna show you guys. Now, gyros are typically done with your lamb and beef, and it's done on this big rotisserie, right? You go in and you go, well, I don't have that thing at home. How am I gonna make that stuff? It's delicious. Now I gotta go pay 30 bucks for one of those from now on. Not really. I'm going to show you how to do this. The meat is easily made at home. We're going to dress them up nice. I got some warm pitas ready to go for you, and we're going to get into this. So the recipe for the gyro meat, it's pretty simple. We did lamb, and we did ground lamb and ground beef. We did about a pound of each one, and we added in our seasonings. We have cumin, we've got garlic, we've got all kinds of great stuff that's in it. In fact, Dave, if you'll take it away, go ahead and show them that prep from earlier, okay? Cool. Right now, what we've got a pound of ground lamb and a pound of grass-fed ground beef. Now, here's the deal. This ground beef is a little bit leaner than I would really want it. It's like an 85-15. I would be recommending, honestly, an 80-20, but this grass-fed ground beef from Sprouts is fantastic stuff. So what I'm gonna do to substitute those fats a little bit, I'm gonna be using from the Queen Creek Olive Mill, we're gonna add in a little bit extra of our robust. Oh, this stuff is fantastic. It works really, really well. We're gonna mix all this stuff together, the fats, the oils, it's all gonna come together great. So hang with me real quick while we get these ingredients loaded in the bowl. I'll show you the next part of our process. So here, we're chopping our fresh rosemary. Now, the reason we go with fresh rosemary in this is because the oils and juices escape from this rosemary and infuse with the meat. The dry stuff isn't quite as flavorful in the recipe. Guess what? If you don't have access to it, it's fine. Use the dry stuff. You won't be really missing out on a whole lot anyway. So we've got that going on. We'll scoop that in. It's probably about a good solid tablespoon, maybe a hair over when we're looking, you know, into the bowl here. Now, we go with a little dried oregano. What I like to we get it, we want to grind that stuff up. It's really to taste, guys. I mean, you know, it all depends on how you like it. I like oregano. I like our Italian seasonings, basil, oregano, anything in that's going to make me very, very happy. So we're probably going with about maybe a tablespoon, a bit over in there. Now, one of my favorite things, smoked paprika. Really brings out some nice flavors. Smoked paprika, of course, is definitely next level. But once again, go with what you got. Now, spice. Maybe a little overwhelming for some people. We got cayenne pepper. I love, love, love cayenne pepper. I'll add it to about anything except for maybe cereal, but haven't tried it yet. Not to say I won't one day. We're gonna drop that in here too. Gonna add a little bit of heat. There we go. We'll see how that turns out later. Now, two things. We go black pepper to taste, of course, but also one of my favorite things to add, white pepper. It's finer. It has a little stronger flavor to it. I like white pepper. Doesn't need a lot because this stuff is actually fairly potent. We're probably going to end up with maybe, let's call it really a teaspoon, teaspoon and a half from there. Now, one of my other favorite ingredients, a little cinnamon. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but we're going to go with just a little bit of cinnamon. We'll get into our palm first here. Make sure we don't go crazy with it. But this cinnamon is going to add a little added sweetness to it. It's going to be really great stuff. And of course, salt. Now the lamb is a little bit salty as it is anyway, but it's going to be all good. Now, I won't bore you to death while I'm chopping this onion. Pretty quick stuff. Now, the recipe typically calls for about a half cup of chopped onion. Now, I like onion. A lot of other people do. It's not terribly impactful to the texture, given how much we're making of this meat. A little over, right around 2 pounds, maybe a hair over. So I'm gonna go with, that feels like about a half cup. Maybe a little extra. Now, one of the things I am gonna grab off screen for here for just 1 second my own garlic, but guess what? Minced garlic is fantastic in this. It's already done, it's already chopped down. We're gonna make it easy. Now, my handy dandy measuring spoon in the back of this thing, all around utility, because I don't feel like going in the drawer for something else. Nice tablespoon or two. Now we got flavor, baby. This is how we're gonna do it. So what we wanna do with this thing is, some people add breadcrumbs. I don't really want to. I'm actually not even gonna add the pulverized rice cereal like I typically do as a filler, because I don't want a filler in this. I want it to taste just meaty. I don't need a grainy texture to it at all. I'm not trying to stretch this. I'm trying to go maximum flavor with what we're doing and get it all together. I'm gonna mash this all together. We'll be back in just a minute after that's done. All right, guys, now we're gonna do, this is mashed up really good. Really a very sticky sort of consistency to this thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, we're gonna toss it into our casserole dish right here. Now, I'm gonna move our bowl, bring our dish over. So here's what we got. We're gonna take this and we're gonna press this all the way into the edges. Now it's gonna be nice and thick, nice and goopy, and so delicious. Press it down, compact this thing big time. Some people actually put like another pan inside it and weight it down, let it sit for a while. I've actually never found that really entirely necessary, probably because I don't use a filler with it, so it's just 100% meat and no added flavors or preservatives. Well, lots of added flavors, let me tell you that, but nothing else filling this thing. So, what are we gonna do? We're gonna bake this thing. We're gonna bake this thing at 350 degrees for about 40 to 45 minutes. We want an internal temperature of about 160 is what we want to get to. When this thing is done, I will be checking it along the way. We're gonna pop this in. Next time you see me, we'll be bringing it out and looking at the final product. I'll talk to you about the rest of the process after that. All right, guys, so what we do with that is we bake it at 350 degrees, okay? And it gets up to about, we do about 40 to 45 minutes, and it just needs to reach an internal temperature of 160 degrees. When that's done, you pull it out, you wrap it up nice and tight, and you chill it. Typically you want to go overnight, but we had a few hours, so that should be well enough for us. Now we're gonna unwrap this, I'm gonna start cutting it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start our induction top over here, and we're gonna start browning the meat for you, and all those flavors are gonna come out. And before that, we're gonna get into our drinks. Everybody thirsty?
Oh.
Yeah, of course.
Right on. So we're gonna leave these things sit here, and we're gonna start getting into our drinks real quick. Now, our typical mojitos, guys, are done. We got 4 of these tonight. You typically will have, you're gonna go with a white rum. Everybody likes that. The Bacardi will do for now. We've got mint, very, very important. We'll have, typically you would add simple syrup to it, but we're actually gonna just go with sugar. We're gonna go original way. We're gonna go ahead and muddle some sugar right into the mint for you, and with some lime, and then we'll pour our rum in, all important, and then we'll get a little seltzer water on top of that. We'll mix that together, lime. I know some of you are allergic to water, it's fine. You'll survive, they'll all be good. So,
Unless it's frozen.
all right, so give us a moment. We're gonna get our drinks together, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got thirsty people, and we're gonna help them out. So tonight's drink, as I mentioned, is gonna be the mojito. We've made some. I'm gonna make one for myself, just so you guys see the process. Now, we start this off with some fresh mint. This has all been washed and cleaned, of course, unless, you know, somebody wanted to poison me. But it's all good to go. Now, typically you'd use a little bit of simple syrup for this. I'm actually going to use straight up sugar, and we're going to use the lime juice to break that down and to mix it all up. We go with about a teaspoon, yeah, maybe a little bit more. And we're gonna muddle these things together for you. Get the sugar and the lime and the mint going together for you. All right. Now, we're gonna go ahead and add our ice. And make lots of noise. Yeah, that fits. Perfect. Now, our number one ingredient here is white rum. No sponsorship from our folks at Bacardi, unfortunately. Maybe one day. But for now, we're going to go ahead and have a very strategic pour of our white rum. Something like that. Oops. Clumsy bartender, what can I say? And we're going to add a little bit of seltzer water in here. Now, we're also going to add a little bit more lime. And we will garnish it with a little more mint. And of course, reach down with our bar spoon here, and we'll get everything stirred up really nicely. Nice traditional mojito for you guys. And I know Greek and Cuban really doesn't always pair well, but I can tell you it's going to taste fantastic with the gyros. And as I continue to make a mess here, I think I'm done mixing for myself. I want to get these drinks out to our friends. Right here, ladies first, of course. And to the gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
Here we go.
Thank you.
And to the gorilla. And to friends and family. Cheers, everybody. Welcome to the Gorilla's Kitchen officially.
Cheers.
Let's see how it works.
Excellent.
Tastes official to me, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Authentic. There we go.
Perfect.
All right, guys, so we're going to be moving on to our next step. What we're going to do is use this handy dandy induction cooktop. If you guys haven't had one of these, you got to get one. They're fantastic. They're cheap. They work really well and available, of course, on Amazon for not too bad of a price. We're going to start this off. Now, one of the tricks or precautionary measures, they say don't start it with the pan on it. Sure, there's a reason. Maybe it'll explode. I have no idea. But I don't want to start it with it on it. We're going to go ahead and make sure we have power. It will recognize that we have an item on it that we will let heat up. And beep at me here in a moment. Or not. There we go. It says, hey, you got something on there. Temperature. Now this thing starts off, a lot of them vary, you know, in their functionality, but this thing starts off at 260 degrees. You can raise it or lower it. I don't think we need a full 260 out of this puppy. So we're going to drop this down. Maybe 180. It's going to start heating up here really fast. So while we're doing that, I'm actually going to go ahead and start cutting our gyro meat that we're going to be dropping in here. I'm going to brown this for you guys. We'll throw it together with our warm pitas, and you guys will be eating here in a hurry. Okay, guys, we're going to be making our gyros here. Now, of course, we want to top them well. We want to dress them up really nice, right?
Yeah.
What we're going to do, we're going to actually got some really great, nice, sweet yellow onions. I like these. A lot of people like purple onion. It all comes down to a flavor choice, but these are really mild, really mellow. And the sweet onion, I think, works really, really well with this recipe. So, of course, my favorite way to cut our onions, we want to cut the ends off of them here. They tend to behave a lot better when you do this. And I score it on our sides.
So do you have a trick to keep yourself from crying?
Right here. Down. Some people let it sit up like this while they're cutting, and the aroma starts coming up right here in your face. Or just, you know, you can actually just rinse a little bit of the juices off it and stick it face down. And that helps too. Because a lot of it comes right from this section right there. The little heart section. That's where a lot of the aroma comes from that causes people to tear up. But you just rinse it a little bit and stick it face down. And then you're good. And I need all the help I can get looking better, right? Yeah. Yep. This is the offending bit right here that causes all of the woe. But we can toss this to the disposal area. And I decided to go with a little bit of little cherry tomatoes. These actually looked really good. Picked these puppies up at Costco. They're a beautiful color, and they go really well. Grape or cherry tomatoes, whatever they are. They're small. They're cute, unlike myself, so I like them. That should be enough. All right, we've got some nice mixed greens here for you. Also, with some spinach mixed in. We got our homemade tzatziki sauce, and we've got the actual prep video of that. Dave will be showing as well. He's going to pop that straight into the video here for us. We have just a little over 1 cup of Greek yogurt and 1 cup of sour cream. We don't measure to it precisely. It's all about the flavor. So we've got that. We've got your English cucumbers. They're better, trust me. The recipe typically calls for a little bit of lemon, maybe a little bit of lemon zest, but guess what? We're actually bringing in the Meyer lemon olive oil. Since the recipe calls for olive oil and for lemon, You can't get a better flavor than this. We're gonna mix this in with it. We've got fresh rosemary. We're gonna brighten up the flavors with some fresh mint. Got a little cayenne, black pepper, garlic, baby. Always gotta have our garlic. And fresh dill. Fantastic. As we're gonna combine these flavors together, I'll show you the finished product. The main thing is get it in there. It's all to your particular taste. I like a little spice. A lot of people don't, but we're gonna get it together and we'll show you the finished product later. Make sure you chill this puppy for a little while. Give it a couple hours if you can. Tastes a whole lot better when you do. Okay, all right guys, so I talked about English cucumbers. Here's what we gotta do. Now, I actually peel these a little bit because I don't like the whole peel in there. Just a personal preference thing. If you like the peel, keep it there. If you don't, peel away, rock and roll like this. So I do this for a little bit of color and texture. Now, the best way for me to do this, the simplest way, is we just take our regular old cheese grater for this thing, and we're just gonna go ahead and grate away real quick. A lot of liquid, so it actually shreds really quickly. Watch your knuckles. It's not supposed to be a secret ingredient. All right, so we take that there. Now we're just gonna go ahead and scoop this together, throw it over into a colander. Not only that, but we're gonna press this. Press it, we're gonna try and get as much of the liquid as we can out of it. Put that into a bowl on your countertop, like so, or into your sink, whatever works for you. Now, as we're pressing this and getting the liquid out of it, you wanna do that because sour cream, everything else has plenty of moisture in your sauce anyway, but we're gonna go ahead and work this a little bit. Some people might even like to salt this, helps remove some of the moisture as well, and let it sit and go back and press it again. But short on time, all you have to do, give it a good press, then grab some paper towels, and we're gonna squeeze that down in there to remove some extra moisture. And there we go, guys. All right, we're gonna mix the rest of this in. Final product coming up in a minute. This is actually gonna be very hearty, very delicious for you. And we're gonna dress that up nice. I'll provide that for you guys and you know, go crazy, do it on your own here. So we've got our goodies over here. We're gonna cut into the meat. It is ready to go. So we're gonna go with we'll go with bigger pieces.
What meat is that?
This is our half lamb and half ground beef. Now with this, like I said, what I did is, you know, typically with, if you're gonna do Gyro meat, you would typically do like an 80-20 beef to ground lamb. And this is the grass-fed ground beef from Sprouts. And it's an 85-15, so it's a little bit leaner. So what I did is I actually added in more olive oil to it. And I used the robust olive oil, which is this one right here. It's a really nice, strong flavor from our sponsors at the Queen Creek Olive Mill. And it's a nice, very strong flavor. In fact, it's very earthy. I want you guys to actually check this out. I'm gonna pass this to you over here. So Aaron, if you wanna check that out first, see where you're at with that. But yeah, I put that into the meat. I would typically use normally only 1 tablespoon of olive oil. I use 2 tablespoons of that to add in to make up for that the fats that we're missing out of the ground beef. And it turned out really, really nice. Well, of course, you guys will be the final judge of that, really. So we're gonna cut it in half, and actually we're gonna go with, I mean, if you guys can tell, obviously when we're browning it up, it's gonna be a little different. This looks like your regular Gyro meat, right?
Yeah.
So what we did is when we mix everything together, all of the seasonings, all the spices, we put it into a Pyrex dish, a little smaller. I could have gone with a loaf pan. Would have worked just as well. Would have made it even a little bit thicker, but I would have taken a little bit longer to reach our internal temperature that we would have needed. And I think maybe it could have gotten a little dried out. I don't know. Went with what we went with, and it works out really, really well. So we're gonna go with this. We're gonna slice this. We're gonna start browning this over here for you as soon as the stuff is ready to go. In fact, so it'll be easier to manage. We'll go this way.
So do you put that in the pan with the onions?
No, actually, we're gonna use the onion just to dress it up afterwards. But if you'd like, I'll do some grilled onions for you. If you'd like them a little grilled, I'd be happy to toss them in there. For sure. I like to caramelize my onions. I like to throw them in with a little bit of Worcestershire sauce and butter. Don't ask me to say that word again. Right. The W word that nobody gets right. Damn that word. But that's where we're at, guys. So, with some level of care, drop that here. Actually going to transition myself closer to our induction range. Oh no, my drink's in the way. I have to fix that. I'm gonna make it lighter.
I'll watch it for you.
Moves easier that way. Yeah, I bet you would. Huh? All right, cord. There you go. Now, I know the fan is a little loud. I guess some models, they say the fans are a little bit louder, some a little bit quieter. I don't know. This one's not too bad. I don't know, Dave, if you're picking that up on the mic really bad or not.
We're good.
Okay. Now, you don't need really the olive oil with this particular pan. It's a great pan, but I'm doing that just for the flavor. What do you think so far, guys? How are our drinks doing?
Drinks are great.
Are they a little too good? Everybody's quiet.
The only problem is it's half gone.
Yeah. Well, I think I know how to fix that issue, I've been told. So, you tell me, is it Euro? Is it Gyro? Is it Gyro? Is it, what is it? Euro?
Euro. I think so.
I thought it would be fun if maybe we called a Mediterranean joint and just asked them, how do you guys pronounce this? Just give them a hard time. I'm sure they'd appreciate it.
Yeah. Greek information. Call a friend.
Yeah. I'd like to phone a friend. So you'll notice this looks like, you know, it's a lot more fine than, say, a meatloaf, you know? But that's almost what it comes out like. But you have to grind and press the meat a lot until it's almost like sort of a goop in a way. It gets really super soft. You don't want it grainy at all. Press and press and press into the pan.
Did you say traditional gyros are meat?
They are.
Is a mixture of roast beef and lamb? Or
Yeah,
is it
it's you know, it depends. Now, I've talked to folks, actually, I ran into somebody the other day who actually has family in Greece, and they say what they do there is pork. They'll do pork and chicken. You could really do all kinds of stuff, really. But I think it comes down to the seasoning aspect and then and the preparation side, how they put it on the big rotisserie spit and how that's done. But yeah, guys, honestly, you could use pretty much any kind of meat you want to. I've had fantastic chicken gyros. I think it all comes down to how you dress it. You know, some feta cheese, some, you know, onions. Of course, you got to have your tzatziki. Otherwise, you know, what are you doing?
Or meat preference.
Yeah. Now, I would hate to say this out loud. You could probably even use that tofu garbage. You know, I don't even know what that's supposed to taste like, but they say they can approximate pretty much any flavor. No. All right, guys. So while this is browning, I want to tell you a little bit about the olive oil here now. The roasted garlic olive oil also comes from our friends and our sponsor at the Queen Creek Olive Mill. Now, they're not far from us, but they're fantastic people. They have really the only Arizona-sourced olive oil anywhere. And they're here in Queen Creek, Arizona. In fact, they just won the Queen Creek Business of the Year award there. So they're really neat people, the Roya family. They're fantastic folks. I got a rare opportunity at the Garlic Festival recently to be Perry Reyes' sous chef and be his assistant while he was doing one of his cooking demos. So it was a fantastic moment for us. And he even came over to our tent and he decided to be my assistant during one of our demos during the event. So really humbling event for me, and it was a huge thing. But we love that they believe in us, and their products, honestly, are second to none. It's fantastic. So, and folks, by the way, the link to their website is right below in the description. It's also, if you look at the recipes on our website as well, at thegorillaskitchen.com, their products will be linked to any of the ingredients as we name them. When you click on roasted garlic olive oil, it will take you right to their product page if you want to pick up some of that stuff. They have actually done now more business online per month than they do in store. For the first time that's happened this year. Pretty amazing stuff. They're fantastic folks. We love to support them. We love that they support us. In fact, you'll see quite an array of things. If you guys want to get into checking out some of those flavors later on, I'm happy to share it with you. This meat's looking pretty good, guys. We're gonna,
Smells good.
yeah, we're looking pretty decent. Got a little ways to go here. In just a minute, I'm gonna actually pull out our pitas.
So you're just browning it and warming it up?
Yeah, just toasting because I want to simulate that that rotisserie sort of process. This recipe will, you know, the salad version will go under the regular keto version of this. Now, one of the things too, guys, you're probably aware of this. The meat they typically will throw in like breadcrumbs as a filler. I didn't do that. This is all meat.
Wow.
So they will typically use like your breadcrumbs in there to make it fluffier, to extend it out. Of course, I don't have to worry about, you know, we're not trying to worry about return on investment on a food cart or something like that. But in place of it, if I do want to use a filler, I'm going to use a pulverized rice cereal, like a Rice Krispie type of a deal, and throw my seasonings in with that into a food processor, and then we'll just blend that up together and then mix it in. I do that with my meatballs, and those turn out really, really well because you need more of a filler, more of a binder to keep those together. But since this is on a Pyrex dish, you know, it's there, it keeps its form anyway. It's not going to get away from you. So we might have enough to rock and roll here. I'm going to start pulling out our warm pitas, and you know, we'll feed Aaron last just in case. Now, one of the things that I forgot to bring out was feta cheese. Everybody like feta?
Yes.
Of course. You like pretty much everything?
I do.
Feta, mixed greens, everything?
Sounds good.
The Gyro with everything.
All right. So a little onion. Butt onion, little onion.
Little.
Well, I'm gaining about.
I'll take hers.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Little mixed greens going on. Tomato.
Yes.
Perfect. Now, I will let you,
Thank you.
of course, and for you, Kelly.
Thank you.
And here's your tzatziki. I will allow
Is
you.
this whole bowl mine?
That is yours. You do not share with that guy right over there. All right, gentlemen, place, please.
Thanks, sir.
All right, guys. Yeah, these look horrible. I don't know what you're going to do with these things.
Yeah, these things are looking good. Thank you, sir.
And if you can fry the tzatziki sauce away from your wives, good luck.
Thank you much.
And where's my last plate? We got to feed the internet. You guys got to get your dinner. All right, guys. Here's your finished product. It's delicious. It's coming your way, straight out of the Gorilla's kitchen. I got to tell you, look down at the bottom, click subscribe. There's a lot more delicious coming your way. A lot more beverages, a lot more fantastic times, a lot more great dishes. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Prep Zone, baby. Happy.